Hey guys, hope you're all well in this crazy times. So this is a video I'm going to make about warming up on the guitar. I'm going to do a series of these, and the whole point of this is to give you guys a bunch of exercises that you can put into rotation just for a bit of variety when you're warming up. So just to clarify, these are not speed exercises. They are designed to warm both your hands up for two main reasons. Number one, to reduce the risk of injury. Okay, guitar players, not just guitar players, but we're quite prone to repetitive strain injury, and that is something that you want to avoid at all costs. And two is to help you play more fluidly on your instrument. Okay, so I'm a big believer in warming up properly, especially if you're going to play or practice for long periods of time, or you're going to perform in a band or whatever. So the goal of these videos is to give you a bunch of exercises that I find effective and a lot of players do, so it just saves you time having to look for good ones to warm up. Okay, so today we're going to focus on two exercises, and they're for single notes warming up with both the left and right hand together. Okay, this first one, I've heard it called many things, and it's been around for a long time, but for all the right reasons, and that is because it works. It's called the Punisher. I've heard it being called spider fingers and all this kind of thing. I use it myself, and it works well for me. So let me break this down for you. I'll play it just a couple of strings. Okay, off the bat I'm going to say this. This is not the most musical sounding exercise in the world. It does not sound pretty, but that's not the point. The point of this is to warm you up, to be able to play music. Okay, so I generally prefer exercises or warm-up routines that have some more musical adaptations and you can use in the context you're playing. However, they're not always the best way to warm yourself up properly. This is definitely one I find that it doesn't sound great, but it does the job of, at least for single notes for now. And just to say also, some of the other videos I'll be doing will be showing you how to warm up for chord playing, and again, to point out, this is for plectrum use. Okay, the three main kind of techniques I use for picking are the plectrum. I use hybrid picking, which is a combination of the plectrum and your fingers, and then of course I play fingerstyle as well. So I'll do videos on warming up for each of those picking styles. Okay, so this one is primarily aimed at people who use the plectrum. Okay, so let me play the exercise. I'll just play a little bit of it slowly and then I'll break it down for you. So this is the Punisher. Okay, so nice and slowly. Etc, etc. Okay, before I bore you to death with that, I'll just go through it. What I'm doing here, essentially we're using the chromatic scale. Okay, so the first thing you do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, on the low E string. So we just go, and I'm alternating my picking with just down up. Okay, and another thing I should point out is that I'm an economy picker. Okay, it's a little different to alternate picking. Okay, I'll do a separate video on explaining economy picking. So I'm going to be viewing this exercise from some of the economy picks. Just to break it down simply, what economy pick means is when I'm picking, regardless of what I played before, whether I'm doing down, up, when I go down a string, I use a downstroke, and regardless of what I played before, whether it's a down or upstroke, when I go up a string, I use an upstroke. I go directly to the string. Okay, with alternate picking, and I speak from experience here because I was an alternate picker myself. I changed to economy picking when I went to college in London. I kind of see the value of it. There are times where I will break the rules for a particular riff. Okay, but I am pretty much a strict economy picker. So, and that's with everything, whether it's scales, arpeggios, sweep picking, string skipping. I just use it for everything. Okay, so here we go. So what happens is you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's all alternate pick, down, up, down, up. Okay, and then drop my first finger down to the A string. I hit that with a downstroke. Fingers 2, 3 and 4 are still on the low E. I then play them. I go use an upstroke because I've gone from the A string, now I'm going back up to play these 3 notes on the low E. So that would be after the I go down to the A, I'd go up, down, up. Okay, so that first section sounds like this. Okay, I then drop finger 2 down to the A string, and I do fingers 1 and 2 on the A string, and then 3 and 4 on the low E. And then surprise, surprise, you're probably figuring this out. I then drop finger 3 down to the A string. I play 1, 2, 3 on the A string. Little finger plays low E on the 4th. Then I drop the little finger down to the A string, and I'm back to 1, 2, 3, 4. And essentially that's the exercise which you then carry on to the rest of the strings. So I'll just go over that one more time. So we do 1. So from the A string, 1, 2, 3, 4, alternate. Drop finger 1 down with the down stroke, so down to the D string. Then fingers 2, 3, and 4. You go back up with the plectrums. Play 2, 3, 4. Finger 2 then drops down, and you do 1, 2 on the D, 3, 4 on the A. Finger 3 drops down. You do 1, 2, 3 on the D, finger 4 on the A. And then you drop the little finger down, and you 1, 2, 3, 4, and you kind of back to the start, and that's the whole process. Okay, so on and so forth. Now what happens when you get to the top string and you've got back to your 1, 2, 3, 4, i.e. there are many variations of this exercise. I've seen people do it at different positions, string skip, and I'm just going to show you this way of playing it first. Draw this. When I get to this point, and you don't have to do this, but I find this is a good way to cover the whole fretboard. I slide up here to the 5th fret, so I'm going up a semitone, and this is where the exercise changes. So I'd look at this way as ascending, slide up a semitone, and now we're going to descend. Okay, so we'll go here. We're going to lead with the little finger. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Then the little finger goes up to the B string on the 5th fret. So you play that, and then fingers 3, 2, and 1 on the high E. Okay, and up again, fingers 4, fingers 3 on the B, and fingers 2 and 1 on the high E. Okay, so from a picking point of view, I go back to here, up we go. So I've just finished the ascending. Upstroke for the B, down, so down a string, up for fingers 4, fingers 3, fingers 2 and 1, up, down, up, down, okay, back to the high E, and then up, down, up, down, and I've gone back to the start. And again, you repeat that process. Etc, etc. What I tend to do, I tend to go from the 1st fret up to the 12th fret, and then just go backwards, just reverse it and go back up to there. And that's called the Punisher. It's one that I use pretty much every day, and a lot of players I know I've used it for many years. It's been around for a long time. Okay, practice that. Let me know how you do. I'll be uploading another video doing more exercises, more variations on this. I know it's not hard to practice it. I'd simply go up and down nice and slowly. 2 things to remember, okay? It's not a speed exercise, as I said before. So you're aiming to get all your notes to ring out with the same volume and clarity, okay? There is a time for volume dynamics on the guitar, but with this, you want everything to just ring out nice and evenly. Listen to your guitar, turn it up so you can hear everything. So if you're hitting muted notes or things aren't ringing out properly, identify that, okay, and work on it. And how I'd practice it, I'd just go up and down the fretboard twice, and then I'd go on to another exercise. So I'd spend maybe 2 minutes on this, nice and slowly, and then I'll give you another bunch of exercises that you can add onto it. That's all for now. Okay guys, here's another little exercise, just to kind of follow on from the Punisher one. So we've kind of moved horizontally, vertically, moved along and up and down. Okay, very common direction of movement on the guitar. Another way we move, not just as guitar players, as violin, cellos, is in a linear fashion, which is along the strings. Okay, so this is exercise I found, I think it was from, it definitely sounds like it's a Malmsteen-esque exercise. I'm sure it's probably from one of his pieces. Again, it's one I've been using a long time, so I forget. So this one, let me just play it for you slowly and I'll break it down and tell you why I use it. Okay, so there's a few reasons why I use this one. It's also a little bit more musical than the Punisher. You could use this kind of sequencing in other scales and apply it to different strings, so it has a bit more of a musical value. It's a little bit prettier sounding than the Punisher. We'll leave it at that. Okay, main reasons why I use this is it uses different finger combinations, as you can see. It is led by the little finger, that's when you accent the beat, so it's led by the weakest finger. So I found this was a good one to help strengthen up my weaker, just keeping in mind the tendons that connect these fingers are naturally weaker than these two. So as guitar players, if this is your fretting hand, it doesn't matter if you're right or left-handed, then it's a good idea to develop strength in this. Exercises like this, they warm you up, but they also help develop strength as well. So sixes, so the 6 notes to the beat, or 16-note triplets, and again, you want to just practice this slowly. It's not a speed exercise. Again, you could make it a speed exercise, but that's not the point of this. The point is just to warm you up in a kind of linear fashion. We're in A harmonic minor here, which definitely sounds like Malmsteen to me. Okay, so what's happening here? Start off, I get my hand into this position, so finger 1 is down here on the 5th fret, and then the little finger is on the 8th fret. Okay, and we play this. So I'll call out the fingers from this position. We go. So we go 8, 5, 7, 8, and then we go back on ourselves. So 8, 7, 5. So it sounds like this. 8, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. That sequence is played throughout the whole exercise. It's just that we change positions, okay? Right, okay, from there, just if you want to get used to that, just loop that slowly just to get that sequence in your head. I suggest using these fingerings, as in little third and index finger here. Okay, for the whole exercise, this hand is simply down, up, down, up. It's just alternate picking. Okay, I tend to play this on a different string, so when I'm going up a string, because I'm an economy player, economy picking guy, I would use an up stroke and then carry on. But essentially when you're on one string, this hand just goes down, up all the time. Okay, great one to practice to the metronome to work on your timing as well. So, next part. Little finger onto fret 7. I'm just going to call out the fret numbers here just for ease. 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 4. 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so those two together, slowly. Okay, if you're new to that, if you just want to get that down, so it'll be 6 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I'm playing this to a metronome, if I decide to do that, I'm accenting that little finger when I. You can probably hear that I do that just to help keep time, and also really emphasizing that little finger. Okay, after that we have this. So jump up. So now we're here on fret 10. We're 10, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7. Okay. And we go back to position, the first position, so this would be E shape in harmonic minor if you're a cage guy. So that all together. So you're just repeating the first lot of 16 notes there that we did in E shape of the harmonic minor. There's nothing new to learn there. Okay, then we jump up to the 12th fret, and I'm going to suggest that you use this fingering, okay, which is little finger on the 12th fret, middle finger on 10th fret, and index finger right here on the 8th fret. So we got this. Okay, so I'm doing 12, 8, 10, 12, 10, 8. Okay, so back to the previous position. So that's 10, 7, 8, and then 10, 8, 7. So from here, back to the first E shape here, what we did at the very start. And then back to here to fret 4. So that's 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 4. Okay, so that last little part from the big stretch, slowly. So to repeat it, you would just do this really. And start. Etc, etc. And again, you can take this up to the next string, so and carry on. And I would advise you doing that just to get used to playing across the different strings. You know, as we've got different thickness of strings, just get used to moving exercises like this around. So again, for me, I usually spend about 2 minutes on this one, or a minute and a half. So I've done my Punisher. And then I do so I'm moving kind of vertically across the strings, and I'm doing a linear one. Okay, and the other ones I use, I'll give you variations on these and different ones, so you can pick a few each day, so you don't have to get up and play the same thing over and over again every day. But I certainly would recommend playing that Punisher one. It's a very good way to warm up. The other ones I use are string skip and arpeggios. So I'm jumping over strings. Again, I'm using this economy picking. I use that for everything. Well, as I said, I'll do a separate video on that. It's complicated to a point, and then after a while it actually really makes sense. If you go to my tutorial videos, there's a string skipping exercise in there which I think would be really good, which I talk about economy picking, and it's a really nice sounding one. So I'm not going to go over that. It's in my videos. It's called Classical Cornflakes, I think, something silly like that. So go check that out if you want a string skip and arpeggio exercise. That's a really good one. Okay, good luck with that, guys. And to my students who I'm seeing individually, I will talk a little bit more about the theory of the harmonic minor and the string skipping stuff. Okay, I'll see you soon.